Want it, bad enough, had enough, sounding like everyone. Here to tell you, your time is up. Brought it down to your level. I'm a rebel against the grain, being different, same ignition, lighter fluid without a kitchen. The ideal, make impressions, say something, make me feel it. You can't do it, and I knew it, I pursue it, pain I deal it. I'm a realist and a winner, original, good selection. This is for anyone sick of the earth, I'm here to offer protection. Make you question all your verses, you stumbling through your performance. You ain't hot or the warmest, I'm stinging hot, call me a hornet. Price of fame, you can't afford it. You want it free, do nothing with it. F you, hey me, the mentality, you scared to risk it. It ain't no future, off of your frontin', wanna create you a miracle. All work, minimal, you all talk, criminal. I am not hearing you, and I'm not feeling you. Y'all so disrespectful, like I'm supposed to be fearing you. Hip-hop, renaissance, remember when we went hard. I don't need an entourage, why you need a bodyguard. Next level, same rules, you coming down, change moves. I don't gotta get in where I fit in, I've been here and been about my shoes. So don't be surprised at the kickback, it be the stuff you can't get back. My time is real, you don't get that. I'ma hit you with the real facts. I got that, I got that, you got that, I got that, I got that, I got that, you got that, no you don't. Don't be surprised at the kickback, it be the stuff you can't get back. My time is real, you don't get that. I'ma hit you with the real facts. I got that, I got that, you got that, I got that, I got that.
Welcome to the QOC Network, where we give our community a boost and make things richer by means of genuine and open dialogue.
We're all about processing mental well-being, staying connected, and discussing culture. Grab a seat and help us grow.
Because united, we can make it happen. Welcome to the movement.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, my people.
What's good? What's up? I got my family with me, so if I'm a little cocky tonight, y'all see it. Y'all see it. What they say, I got my chest out. This is the QOC Network -1. He is doing daddy duties, but this is the bank up talent that makes up the QOC Network. I am honored. I am proud of my people, my family. I'm gonna give y'all just a little history how all of this happened. But we are currently, let me just say this, it's nothing small about what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. We are not at all. We are a network, just what that says. We consist of many segments. We are having talks and negotiations about future expansion in 2025. Our website is locked and loaded. Ms. J. Marie will talk about that in a few. We have been wrote up 5 times. One is coming, is on the way. How much bigger you want us to get? I don't know what to tell y'all. We are Googleable. We here. And I say that proudly because I've been doing this for 3 years. But in those 3 years, I have never experienced the feeling of peace, growth, and happiness when I know it's showtime. It hits different when you can sit down with your brothers and sisters and hold meaningful conversations that are needed, and you don't have to worry about being hindered or belittled. It hits different. As y'all know, Mr. Pryme know, because he been cutting my baby hair forever, but he saw the changes where the queens actually started out with 3 women. And from 3, the enemy came in, and we went down to 2. And the enemy came in, and we went down to 1. And in the midst of all of that, each person that's on this platform tonight poured into me and told me, sis, you better not stop. I didn't know what to do. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know where to go. Chris was coaching me through some stuff late at night. AJ was picking up the phone at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know what to do. And God just kept showing me this number 3. And I didn't know what none of that mean. Me and AJ had never talked podcasts. Me and J. Marie never talked podcasts. Me and Chris never talked podcasts. But Pharaoh was like, sis, whatever you rhyme with, I'm riding with too. Let's go. And it started with the king and queen. It expanded. God said, okay, you need to balance it out. And it went on to Seriously, where we have had the pleasure of touching some even Grammy Award winning people. Like, God has been his hands all up and through this. I dare not take nothing and pat myself on the back. It's been nothing but God. I'm not even fit to put out there no universe, no chakras, and it's been nothing but God that has carried this team. Everybody jumped in, even from Damani in Crete. That commercial you guys saw, that's Damani's. That the logo, that's Damani. Like, people are pulling their talents in and pouring and creating something that is way bigger, and it could really change Dallas if we keep and stay humble and keep our foot on the ground. What we are showing you guys is that Black people can work together. We do not have to have the crab in the bucket mentality. We can love each other. You can't be my sister without me hating you or being jealous of you or belittling you. You can't be my brother without me saying that all Black men ain't nothing. That's what we're showing. And I love it. We're showing Dallas that we could do it. We doing it. We done took it out the box. I just had to address that real quick.
Baby, you preaching.
What my goal is for my brothers and sisters on this platform to even branch out. And let's make it bigger. I've been kind of pointing to AJ like, hey, sis, God need to tell you something. She already know what it is. And J. Marie doing bang up work with her nonprofit. We got Coach Chris out there in Boston fit to kick off something. That's probably going to trickle down. We got Pharaoh that's running for city councilman. Man, tell me what podcast got this telling. And I'll wait. I'm like Cat Williams. I sit here and I wait. You tell me. We got Mr. Chocolate State of Mind, another educated Black man from the Federal Reserve side. This ain't just nobody just sitting here, without anything. And then, of course, my favorite, my in-house therapist, Damani, that rode with me. He called me. He asked me one thing. Hey, sis, what happened to the queens? And what can I do? And he been in the thing from the jump. So I just had to clear the air for the speculations on why some of the segments were made. This is about accountability. This is not about feelings, egos, or to bash any group or anybody. It's about us growing as a Black race to show people we not only can do this for us, but we're opening doors for our future kids, for AJ future grandbaby. We don't know what none of this is going to lead to, but we're opening, we're setting tables but in front of those that said that we couldn't do it. It wasn't going to happen. And that the Queens was going to fail. No, the Queens didn't fail. We just networked. When you get out the way and let God handle things, he do it bigger than what we ever expected. And without further ado, I want each one of my hosts, because I hate to call them co-hosts, because it's a team thing. And I don't like nobody to be thinking, oh, you this, you that. We all are family. We're going to kick this off because this is the King and Queen segment with Pharaoh first. To come behind me. I forgot the order, y'all. If y'all know y'all order, go. But Mr. Pharaoh, my king, let's go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother Pharaoh Jackson, the CEO, founder of Pharaoh Speaks, on behalf of Queens and King of Conversation, which is this segment this Wednesday. I would like to benevolently thank you all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be right here for the next hour with me, Egypt, and our colleagues. So we most definitely appreciate that. And your time will not be wasted because we know time is the only thing in life you cannot get back. And again, we appreciate that. AJ, Jay, Christopher, Pryme, Egypt, thank you all for being colleagues in this most positive way. As I said before, a lot of things be on social media. Things that garner attention, the things that go viral, are those things that are viruses, meaning things that are diseased, things that are horrible and negative. But for us to have something of positivity and not negativity, it's always a blessing. It's always something to push forward. But again, I am the co-host of the King and Queen of Conversation, Pharaoh of Pharaoh Speaks. I look forward to sharing this hour with you all, you beautiful men and women.
All right.
Okay. Looking at the order of names, I'll go next. I'm J. Marie. I collaborate with Egypt on Seriously Unserious Movie Reviews, where we interview some of the biggest filmmakers, biggest movers and shakers in Dallas. We're doing that. That segment every first Wednesday at 7 p.m. I had to think about the time. The website, queensofconversations.com. Be sure to check that out for all of the, there we go. Okay, screen share going there. There we go. I ain't got to say much then. Okay, there you see it. So check it out. Be sure to look at all our bios and click around, see what's going down there. Also, I wanted to share, I am executive director for KC Connects Inc. It's a nonprofit youth organization. We have an event, a fundraising event happening December 7th. Egypt is hosting it, as well as Tyrone Betters. So we definitely will hope for you all to come out and support. I think that is it. And I'm the host of That Part Podcast. I have my little notes. So let's see. Next up would be AJ.
All right.
I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet. I'm AJ Monet. Want to know more? Go to www.queensofconversation.com. Bios on there.
Boy, I tell you, you see how women act.
I'm just ready to get into it, you know. What?
All right, who next?
Get to the meetup.
Man, I'm next. Yo, man, that's my girl right there. Yo, I respect that right there. Yeah, short and sweet. Listen, I'm Coach Chris as the special recurring guest for the QOC Network platform as a life coach and as a advocate for men's mental wellness. I appreciate this platform because I bring the piece where, well, of course, with my other brothers, but I bring that piece where, you know, men have a voice, where we speak about, you know, we give the raw thoughts and feelings behind what we do as men and what we say and what we think as men, man. So it's a beautiful space, beautiful place. And I appreciate my sister, AJ. Listen, man, same thing. Listen, I mean, if you want to know more about me, hit up the website. Everything's there in the bio. All the links and all of that good stuff. We're here to make it rock and make it shake and bless our community, man. We here. Love y'all.
We are missing Mr. Damani, but when he pops on, y'all will know who he is. He is my big black therapist. He is licensed. So if you notice after every segment, we have his clips playing. If you need professional help, and we preach this for men, for women, for anybody, if you want somebody with a sense of humor that's not stuck up and arrogant, that's going to really give you the resources that you need to fight this thing called life, I would recommend Damani. I actually was telling J Marie, that I was thinking about calling him like on the personal tip. Because, you know, sometimes you get hit with some things in life and you be like, oh, I need to talk to somebody because I might be a little Lulu. But okay, that's another note. Last but not least, this brother here, he goes by Pryme. I call him Dion. He gonna have to forgive me. But this brother here has a powerful movement here in Dallas, Chocolate State of Mind. I'm gonna let him do his introduction and kind of tell y'all a little bit what that is. I know y'all see me rocking that gear a lot or taking pictures a lot, and it's the reason behind that. And with this movie, King of Dallas, who better to come on than to share what this guy made into a movie is what his movement is. So without further ado, Mr. Pryme, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey, I appreciate everybody, and thank you for the queens of conversation, and the king of conversation. And my boy Pharaoh, man, I ain't seen you in a long time, man. But I appreciate y'all having me on and everything. And my name is Pryme. They call me Pryme, but hey, everybody know me by many names. I'm by many names. But Pryme by design, always in the chocolate state of mind. And what this means is chocolate come in all colors, and everything come from chocolate. That's what that means. So I'm here, and I'm in the community dealing with kids because the kids are our future, and I'm pouring into them every time Egypt brings her son. I'm pouring the Scooter, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he's the future. I'm a father. I'm an actor. Doing a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to bring it in with everybody so that we can do bigger and better things together. Because like I said again, we're not doing enough. As a people, it's never enough. It's never enough. We can always do better. So, like I said, you can find me out on TikTok. You can Chocolate State of Mind. All you got to do is Google it. Like she said, well, I'm Googleable too. So you can check me out. And And like I said, I'm looking forward to what we got going on tonight. It's a beautiful thing.
There you have it, Mr. Daddy. Oh, I better not say that on the air. Mr. Damani has just joined us. You want to say something real quick before we go into the topic tonight?
Sure. Greetings, everyone. My name is Damani Anderson, known as my big black therapist on all social media platforms. I am a part of this. I've been blessed to be a part of this network, a part of this community, to just bring on therapeutic insights based upon my lived experience and also coupled with my professional background. So I am a licensed marriage and family therapist associate, as well as a life coach, and I also do mentoring and a number of different things as well. So blessed to be here and blessed to pour into this community and pour into this conversation. We have been having conversations in the background and it's been going, y'all. So we are definitely excited and ready to be able to pour into the community on today.
All right. So y'all had it. This is the whole QOC network, y'all. This is what God has blessed us with. And as you can hear from the conversations, man, we locked, we loaded. Or in Pastor Troy's voice, we ready. We ready. So without further ado, Mr. Pharaoh, which way you want to go? This is our segment. The topic tonight is colorism, and this actually stemmed from the movie King of Dallas, made by Mr. Justin Rhodes. The synopsis of this is real simple, y'all. The whole world is like a purge where all the white people disappear, and it's only us. And instead of us, of course, working together, we are grouped off by the color of our skin. All groups think that we are God's chosen people for various ignorant reasons. But at the end of the day, of course, Octavius, that's played by Mr. Justin Rhodes, find a way to merge and to blend that. But of course, you know, it comes with death. With any movement, it comes with death. And that's where this topic comes from. We got Jay Marie that's biracial. Me and Damani will actually be part of the Vanta, if we would be honest. And then the other three, Pharaoh, Chris, and Pryme will actually be part of the Bronze. That's the way that movie groups us. And you could not talk to each other. You could not mingle. If you got caught, you were executed, beheaded. It wasn't no guns. You were beheaded. So that stemmed and triggered colorism with us amongst the team. And there you have it. Mr. Pharaoh, how do you want to start this? You want to ask a question or you want to play a video to kind of warm up? How you want me to roll it, sir?
Well, before we play the video, I just want to put something out there about colorism, because we are pulling this from the movie King of Dallas. And like she said in the synopsis, the movie take place in like 2094, something of that magnitude in that time period. And the world is devoid of any other people except for those of us who are Black people. You know, I want to do the reverse. I want to go back historically. That was dealing with futuristically. I want to go back historically. Historically speaking, we will be remiss as a network if we didn't say first and foremost that we are the original people. Let's start off by saying that first and foremost. All other hues, shades, nationalities, races, all derive, and every scientist is on board with this because it cannot be repudiated or refuted, that Black people are the original people of the planet. And we need to also understand that this has been known forever. That's why the term is human. It's human. Human. You know, and that's what the original man is. He is a human. Every man that came after that is a kind of man, thus mankind. You know, so let's deal historically with it by starting off and saying that we are the original people and everyone else derived from us. We are the parents of all of those who walk the planet. From Europe to Asia, those are our children. I was asked months ago by a young lady, she said, what is your perspective about white races? and white racism towards black people. And I said, those just are badass children that need discipline. That's all. They just are badass children that need discipline. Those are our kids. They come from us. And the intellectuals of them know this. They don't dispute it. They know this. In fact about it, the KKK knew that it was irrefutable that black people were the original people. And guess what they did to try to combat that? They said, yes, black people are the original people, but God needed righteousness and morals in the world, so he created us. So people, know your history about this colorism and racism, because you are the original man. You are the original woman. You walking around here with a chocolate state of body and mind, you are original. You are original. And with that, let's bang it off. Colorism. Let's hit them with a video.
You feel that there are a lot of advantages. Tell me about how you see yourself and then how you feel the world or you look at these women on the stage.
Well, being both African American, we all go through hard times and struggles. But to be a darker skinned African American woman versus someone who is assumed to be mixed, my struggles are definitely a lot harder than yours would be. I heard you say that, you know, people assume that you're mixed and then that you go and they say, where are you from? Are you from Indonesia? The excitement that they feel for you is the contempt that they feel towards me. When I walk into a room, I'm slave black. That's it. That means I'm dark.
What is slave black?
That means that I'm really dark skinned. There's no other way. All the bad stuff associated with black people.
I have been black for 34 years. I have never heard slave black.
You know, like sometimes you can pass maybe for mixed or maybe white. When you're slave black, you can't pass for anything other than black.
Did you make this up?
That's what it, yes.
You made up slave black. Okay, because there were a lot of slaves of all different colors.
Yes, there were. But when I say that, that's saying all the negative connotation. Like you remember the field versus the house?
Got it.
I'm in the field. There's no way.
But that's exactly the problem, the slave mentality, the connotation that being like or looking more like massa is better than a person who is darker skinned.
Right.
That's not my problem. That's society's problem. You can't change everybody, but you can change yourself
when those girls
and how you think of yourself.
When those type of girls walk into a room, is there a contempt that you feel inside?
It's not more of a contempt, but it's more of there's always going to be, you guys have it a lot easier. And from the moment that we walk in to a room together, it's evident. When I look at TV, it's evident. You can identify with the people you see on a commercial. I can't 90% of the time. You can walk into a store and find hair products and makeup that works for you. I can't. When people walk up to me, are you from a different country? Are you maybe from are you maybe Guyanese or something? No. Oh. Like they're almost disappointed because I'm just black.
Tell me.
Okay, who wants to respond first?
Okay, anyone.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. This is my thing. I'm with that. Like I said before, chocolate come in all colors, and everything comes from chocolate. So that situation, I think it's a merit to both sides. To the darker skinned woman, and my sister is dark skinned. And she had a complex. My mama she's a caramel brown woman, and my mom, I wouldn't say unconsciously, helped my sister into a complex with her darker skin because she called her black, black ASS. When she got mad at him, and she would say stuff like that. You go dark black, she would say stuff. So darker skinned females did have. I don't know about now, but back then, coming up, they did have a situation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was going towards the light skin. I remember one time I got hurt. I was in 6th grade. I had a little light skinned girlfriend, and she hurt me. She dissed me, whatever. And my mom at the time, to help me, she came to me and she was like, "What you crying for?" And I told her why, and she was like, "Well, you want to get you a darker skinned woman anyway, because they cleaner." She went that way, And after that, no lie, I did start. Maybe it was a psychological thing, but I started to like darker skinned females, and even now today, I like chocolate women. You know what I'm saying? No diss at you, Ja Marie. You're a beautiful woman, for real. You're a beautiful woman. but it was something she put in my head, and so I believe that we absolutely do have a divide when it comes to color and who and darker skin. Even I'm gonna tell you this: as a barber, I had a light skinned guy. He had a complex, and we dealt with that complex in my barber chair because he was like, "You dark skinned cats, everybody, the women don't want us no more. They want y'all." And I was like, "Man, why you say that, man?" He was like, "Well, they think we weak because we light skinned." And I was like, "Nah, man, that's not right. It's all about how you think about yourself." And as we got closer, we dealt with some of that color stuff that he had going on because it was just coming out of him. It was like, society built it in him, and that's all he knew. It came out. So we absolutely inside of our culture have those differences that we have to address, and we have to understand that we all come from the same tree. Just because your chocolate is a little lighter doesn't make you any less of material. You know what I'm saying? You are a beautiful chocolate woman, chocolate man, period. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we definitely have some colorism issues within, very much so.
Indeed.
And you said something about family, and I think we do it unconsciously. Like you said, your mom was calling your sister black ass because this QOC, we're gonna do what we're gonna say.
We can curse. We can say a little word.
Okay. So with that being said, I felt that because I am the darkest of my family. My grandma actually looks like Lucille Ball. I told Jay Marie this. I'm talking about the split image. She looks like Lucille Ball. And so all my aunts are this light, some of them lighter than Jay Marie, or like my mom look Hispanic. And what I noticed is, it was hard for me because we are doing this colorism in phase. Back then, the black girl went in. We hot now. The dark-skinned women hot now. But back then, I remember my brothers picking the mixed girls. You had to be mixed with the hair, or you had to be a lighter complexion. And I couldn't understand that. So, yeah, I had that complex growing up. And, yeah, I thought I was beautiful. I had the beautiful wavy hair. They thought we were, they used to call me and my brother Blaxican. You see how we hurt each other? They made up a term for me and my brother because we had like the wavy hair, but we were dark. But it was Hispanic people across from us that was our color. So they thought we were Mexican, and my mom was Maria. Shit, let's just keep it honest. And then you got my big black daddy that look like Damani down there that's getting out the camera. Like, wait a minute, what's going on? But I think it's something we could pass on real quick if we don't watch what we say and how we say it. Because that triggered me when he said that because I found myself telling Scooter that. Sit your black ass. But how I know how he's processing that, because my baby is chocolate.
And I think not to cut you off, but I think my mom did it unconsciously. I just want to put that out there. I think it wasn't nothing that she was doing to, I don't think she meant it in a vicious way. You know what I'm saying? I just think it was like a piece of ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't malicious at all.
Yeah, it was a part of. It was Chief did it like a part of discipline. You know what I'm saying? But it took a toll on my sister. Not to cut y'all off, but it actually made her date outside of her culture, and now her kids are mixed. So, and she told me years ago, she was like, when mom saying that to me, made me not want my kids to be dark. So she went and messed with a guy that was Indian, and he was Indian and Dutch, and she created these kids. And guess what? They dark skinned. So, it still worked out a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So I want to bring up the flip side to it. So with me being biracial, my mother's a white lady. I was raised by my black side of the family. So there's an issue where they had an issue with my mother being a white lady. So I was constantly criticized for not having rhythm, not having this because I'm half white and all these different things. So there was that whole idea that I didn't want to be considered white for nothing, for shit. I never wanted anybody to think I was half white or nothing like that. I hated it for a long time. So I had a complex with white people because of that. And then I wasn't even black enough in terms of my family. So then it was that whole dynamic of, proving my blackness. Like a lot of times we joke around about these celebrities having to prove their blackness and different things like that. that's a real situation for a biracial person. So it's, in some cases, it's not being accepted by your family. And it was on purpose that they did this. It was no ignorance. I mean, they were being ignorant, but it was no, I didn't know I was perpetuating that. So then I grew up to be attracted to Black men, period. Dark chocolate, all shades of Black, never wanted any different, as long as you were mixed enough where I could tell you were Black, I was okay with that. But then I had that complex where it was like, I love all Black people, but then Black people look at me like, ooh, where you from? You exotic. Oh, your hair, you da-da-da-da. I wear contacts, so these are not my eyes, y'all, but anything, they just think I'm like this exotic creature. And it's like, that's another form of, you got to kind of say what you mixed with because they know you mixed. So then it's like, but I'm not better than you. And I never thought I was, or never perpetuated that. But that's the impression that I get from my Black family or my Black side or the Black people that I'm around. I'm exotic. So, the women that were on that panel, I'm like, damn, they look like me. They could have been my family up there. That's how much I think that's not talked about enough, because we're trying to be a part of the fight. And it's like, no, the hell I'm not. It is a real problem both ways, though, because, I had an issue with white people because of my mother, and I still kind of do, if I'm being real honest. Still kind of do, So, yeah.
Damn.
I was gonna say, like, for me, I think that it's like, at what point if at all, do we blame parents in terms of how we contribute to colorism? Because colorism is rooted in ignorance. We can start there. Colorism is rooted in the lack of education. I think as a parent, we should talk to our children at a young age about colorism. And I say this because I'm a parent of a dark-skinned child. My daughter was born Black. Like, she was born so dark. When she came out, I asked the nurse, I said, what's wrong with my baby? Why is she so blue? And I kid you not, the nurse said, this baby not blue. She said, she Black as hell. Ain't her daddy Black? I had never in my life seen a baby being born the color that she is at 23 years old. She came out soot black, like chocolate. And so I knew then, once she got old enough to understand, I started speaking words of affirmation to my daughter, because I know the world that we live in and how negative comments regarding her color would affect her if, as her mother, I didn't teach her to love her skin and who she was. And I think a lot of parents, they don't do that. And I used to tell my daughter every day, you're beautiful, and you are loved, and you are kind, and you are smart. And every single day I would tell her these things. She would go to school and they would call her precious because she was, chunky or whatever the case may be. And they would share pictures of her throughout the school, and she would come home crying. I can remember as a parent, I was crying with her, wanting to go to school to fight these kids. But then I have to realize that ignorance starts with their parents, because these parents at home aren't teaching these kids, about colorism. And does it exist? Absolutely. I think, is it one of those things that we could probably fix? No, because I think people are just, they are who they are, and hurt people. And because these people who reflect this ideology of, lighter is better than darker skinned people, these are people who are dealing with trauma. So I think until these people, they go to a place of healing and then loving themselves, they're always going to project that hurt on other people. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much. It's so much to unpack here when it comes to colorism. I know you said, Pryme, that your mom, indirectly, Black ass or whatever, whatever. And it's kind of like it's like, did she hear her mom say that? At what point do we hold parents responsible to say, hey, you need to think before you speak? Because that's something that could have been easily avoidable.
Absolutely.
Had she thought about, if I say this, how would that make my child feel? You say, hey, tell my son, sit your Black ass down. you know, you don't know how that's going to affect him being dark skinned, him growing up hearing his, why does he have to sit his black ass down? Why can't he just sit down? You know, it's almost like saying, oh, you pretty for, you know, a big girl. Why can't I just be pretty? So they start asking themselves questions like that. So we as parents, we have to be more conscientious of the words and the things that we say to our children as it pertains to skin tone until they get to a level of understanding exactly what it is and how to completely love themselves.
Damani, I was gonna go to Chris. Okay, Chris came back, but I want Damani to give us a therapy answer after Chris. What have you experienced any of this, Chris, or mentored any of this, life coached any of this in your clients?
So this is good stuff, man. And so far, you know, everyone that has spoken, you know, those that are tuning in, I want you guys to take a minute to just like really like sit and reflect on the words that Pharaoh has spoken. Egypt, AJ, Brother Pryme, Ja. It's like, bro, colorism, it breeds division, low self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like confusion, all of this stuff, man. Whether it's done subconsciously or consciously, it breeds these things, man. Me personally, as an individual, I don't think I really experienced this, you know, like directly, but indirectly, a lot of us have. I think about the TV show Martin. We all familiar with that. That's one of our favorite joints. But that in itself is colorism. Gina was on a high pedestal.
Sure was.
But Pam, oh man, listen, you know, we was laughing at it back then, and even to this day, still be laughing at it. But Pam, like, you know, BDB, you know, nappy head, Martin went in on that dark sister. But she was beautiful, to be honest with you. Like that sister was dope. But you know, in a form, in a way, that in itself was colorism. When you think about colorism, it's a form, it's it's a tool that pretty much knocks a certain individual down because of their color. You know, so if you're darker skinned, it's like, oh, you're ignorant, or you're not smart enough, you're not beautiful, you're not this, you're not that. And even still, you know, to us lightest, you know, to the light skin shade, same thing. You know, fast forward to 2024. I mean, the light skin shade, they experience the exact same thing. But you know, we experience colorism on some type of level when you sit back and you really think about it, man. So I just wanted to toss that in there real quick. I do want to read off. I mean, I guess you can call it a quote, but I do want to say this because I love encouraging people. And that's what this topic is all about, is to bring awareness, but also impart encouragement. And for us as a community, as Black people, the world will always tell you that you're something else, that you're too dark, you're too light, you're too short, you're too tall, you're this, you're that. But it is our job to remind the people, even us, but to remind this world that, listen, man, we are emotionally intelligent. We are strong. We are smart. We are beautiful. We're intuitive. We are people that walk in greatness. And for us, it does start with us. AJ, I know you said like, yo, we can't, I know you said we can't really, transform our community to like, get back on track when it comes to this. I mean, and it could just be me, man, but I feel like, yo, it's always hang on to that little bit of hope, even if it's 1%. Like it does start with us. Colorism start with us, within our own community. That
because I think with this generation, because kids now, they're so influential. And it's like, if we want to change the narrative that, in regards to colorism, it's like, I feel like it would have to start in things that move children the most, which is typically music.
Social media.
Yeah, that's the point that I was going to get to. I'm like, it does start with us at the end of the day. We can't depend on white people to push that narrative. We can't depend on them to do that. It starts with us. It starts with platforms like this. Mm-hmm. We got to push that narrative. Like, yo, F what the world says. You are dope as a chocolate, beautiful Black woman. You are dope as a beautiful, light-skinned woman. That starts with us, man. And we got to push that right there at the end of the day. You're absolutely correct. But now I wanted to just make that clear. If we do want to transform all of that, man, listen, we got to push that narrative all day, every day, man. Colorism can be transformed to, we can push that out the way, but it does start with us. But again, platforms like this, beautiful man. Listen, we come in all different shades on this platform. Look at us, look at us, and look at this unit.
That's why I gotta
Exactly.
get y'all some of these shirts, man. I gotta put all y'all in some of these shirts.
Yeah.
That's what it
There
is.
you go, man. But look at this. Look at this unity. Look at this. Look at this unity right here, man. This is a prime example right here. But that's all I got right there, man. We're beautiful. We're powerful, man. We just got to keep it pushing, man, and trailblazing on this thing.
And I better get another free one. I don't care what nobody say.
You better leave me alone.
Damani, give us something from a therapist's point of view.
From a man's point of view.
There we go.
From a man's point of view. From a man's point of view, he's not at work right now. He's not at work.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right, black man.
Yeah.
So, what I want to do first, because I feel like it's definitely very important for us to understand colorism across the board. So there's two parts to colorism. There is the social, societal impact of it, but remember, anything with an ism deals with everything on a broader spectrum, on a societal spectrum. So the thing about colorism is you can date it all the way back from the historical context of it, when it came down to hierarchies. For example, in ancient cultures, even in slavery, the lighter skinned individuals did not have to go out and do the field work as much. So they were chosen over the darker skin, because those who had darker hue had to work out in the fields a little bit longer. But that that also happened across the world. So it wasn't just in America, but that's one aspect of it. When you look at it from a cultural, societal preference of it, the conditioning of lighter skin, lighter complexion people globally has been shown in social media and representation on media, even in AI. When people started using AI face recognitions, those of darker skin could not be seen. I couldn't use no face scan. It wasn't scanning this face over here. Even when I play video games, like when I play 2K, I want to upload my 2K character. I had to stand in the sun with a flashlight just to get part of my face, and then half my face is white because it could not pick up my skin tone. Because why is that? Like, those who making this isn't tailored or isn't even considering those of the darker hue. When you think about economically, you think about those who get represented historically, even with raises, representing companies. When you look for a DI hire, they're always racially ambiguous. It's not so much dark. It's like, oh, okay, they could be something. And then we dive over to the intersection of racism and colorism. That's just a big thing in America across the board. So I wanted to make sure that we also bring those viewpoints in as well, because it's all molded together. It's all deals with colorism, and I believe colorism predates racism. And in every generation, every area of the world, there's always a hierarchy based upon what you look like. So just wanted to throw that in there. All right, now my personal experience, yes, that's why I came up with the brand, or God put the brand on me, my big black therapist, because of colorism, because of implicit biases, because of expectations for me. And not only am I dark skinned, but I am 6'9". I am a large individual. So therefore, everybody always expected me to do everything else except use my mind. They always expected me to use my body. I was never expected to do anything else. I literally had a guy tell me I was a waste of body because I wasn't playing sports, and because at that time I was a child investigator, literally going out on a case to go investigate a child who was being abused. But I'm a waste of body because I'm not playing sports. So when it came down to colorism, with those who view different thoughts about me, preconceived notions, those things are all real. Those things happen. And it's not, like Jay was saying, I'm sorry, AJ was saying, when she was talking about the ignorance of parents, that is definitely one aspect of it. but then also where are they getting this information from? Who is feeding it to them? The world is. The world constantly shows those who are lighter, not just black, but white. Those who have blonde hair, blue eyes, the perfect race, which was what Hitler was going for, and he wasn't even that. Like, so these things are constantly being pushed and encouraged across the world. So it's all influenced, therefore it's just passed down. And from a therapeutic lens, that that deals with self-esteem, that deals with your depression, that deals with emotional dysregulation, because now I don't know how to handle my emotions. I lash out. That does deal with, and that's what bleeds into the division between light skinned black people and dark skinned black people, because I feel like my life is so hard, and I feel like you got it all together, or you're good because you're privileged, and therefore there's a divide based upon the trauma that the world has brought in, the trauma that the world expects, and then your own family saying, "Hey, you need to date light skinned people, or you need to date, y'all gonna have some black babies, boy. They close their eyes, you ain't gonna be able to see them. You're gonna lose them in the dark." Like all of these different things that just added on, all of these different jokes that just added on. So all of that has an impact. But all right, I'm turning it down. There we go.
All right, we're gonna roll another video. This one is targeted for the men. When we get through, Pharaoh will start it off. And then all the men, y'all just go at it. We are at 46. We are gonna stretch this show out. No longer, my goal is no longer than an hour and 20 minutes. That way it can go to the network smoothly without any hiccups. There is gonna have to be a part 2 to this, because I had so many clips and so many topics.
So much to say.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then Pharaoh will definitely get together and decide if we're gonna do that this month or if we're gonna space it out. But this conversation is way more deeper than I thought it was with seeing all of us on this platform.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the next one, and then this is for the men, you guys.
You know, there's this stigma now going around where like light-skinned men are looked at as more feminine, and people associate, you know, masculinity with darker-skinned men.
Just like how darker-skinned women felt like they couldn't be beautiful because they was dark-skinned, which is, you know, idiotic of people to say. The same way a light-skinned man could grow up. My son, who's 6 years old, could be like, damn, well, they said I'm so I might be. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know.
Mr. Pharaoh, colorism and men.
Indeed. Okay. So let's unwrap this slowly, okay? Let's move. We're gonna slow down. Unbuckle your seatbelts. We're gonna slow down. I'm gonna do a very pedestrian 20 miles per hour for this one, okay?
School
So,
zone.
yes, definitely. So let's understand this, man. Let's understand that when it comes to this colorism thing, especially amongst men, let there be no mistake about it, people. Colorism, as pertained to the Black community, is directly tied to the effects of slavery. Let's not make any mistakes about it. Let's not dance around it. It is directly tied to the after effects of slavery. Why are lighter skinned men considered weaker? Because the slave master said so, not because I said so. Facts. And go fact check this. The complexion of a slave during the antebellum or post antebellum period, the complexion of that owned property human would determine the type of work it will be doing. Lighter skinned women, lighter skinned men were more than likely going to be chosen for the housework and light work. Those men who were darker in hue were given the field jobs or became field hands. And what we do, as all oppressed people do, we assimilated our oppressors. When our oppressors looked down on the dark hue brother, we did the same thing. The oppressor, they wanted our lighter skinned women. And they went after them and made more lighter skinned babies, which made those babies closer to the oppressor. So when you have men talking to other men in reference to complexion, we are only, and I mean this seriously, we are only assimilating our oppressor. We are working with his mindset. That is not a black man's mindset. Black men have become Frankenstein. And the reason I say we have become Frankenstein is because Dr. Frankenstein took a body and put a brain into it. This is the same thing that has been done to us as black men. They took us and they put a mentality into it. So we looking down on one another because of color. It's a direct effect of slavery. Not only do darker skinned men and women look at lighter skinned men and women differently, but it's vice versa. The lighter skin looked at darker skin in opposition. Because if it wasn't right, if it wasn't white, it wasn't right. And the light and brighter you were, the closer you were to passing. That's what they call it, passing back in the day. You know, so this is a direct effect of slavery, brothers and sisters, a direct effect of it. And we are perpetuating it. And AJ, I want to say to you, everything you said was correct, sister, but I want to add about the parent. The parents can only give what they were given. Parents only give what they were given. So if they're being fed an anti-hue or anti-black diet all their life, guess what they got to feed to their children? An anti-hue, an anti-black diet. You know, so we got to be mindful of these things, man. It ain't that you being light-skinned make you weaker, because you're not. You're not. We judge you by the content of your character, not by the skin of your not the color of your skin. But we have to understand where it derives from and why it's still prevalent today. And it's the direct effect of slavery. And we cannot ignore that. Do not ignore that. Do not forget what happened. The Jews, they're quick to say, "I never forget," about the Holocaust. We as black people need to quit being ashamed and acknowledge what happened to us, man. What happened to us didn't happen to any other people. Yes, people were indentured slaves or indentured servants, but we were actual chattel slaves. So what happened to us, don't be ashamed of it. Accept what happened to us and say it. I never forget. I never forget Jamestown, Virginia, 1619. I never forget it. When the first of us in the United States of America came here as slaves. I never forget. And I'm not ashamed of that. And can't nobody, they can take away critical race theory all they want, but can't nobody take away the truth of what happened to my people. And I never forget. So that's where it derives from. Racism and classism within our community derive directly from slavery.
Mr. Pryme.
Well, everything Pharaoh said was absolutely true. You know, it all comes from slavery. And like I always like to say, when we were set free, we didn't let go of those ideals and those traditions and those things that we picked up in slavery and start our way. We didn't do that. We kept going the same way we were going as if we were still in slavery. So we like he said, we kept perpetuating the same things that we got in slavery. So here we are in 2024, still doing some of the same things that we were doing in slavery, until we get to a point where we say, hey, we now understand that we were conquered, we were ripped apart, and there was a synthetic system put inside of us, and we acted out in this synthetic system until we come to that understanding from like it's colorism, from all of the isms, from religion, from all of these things. Then we're going to continue to perpetuate the same thing that came through our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, and all that. It came from slavery. We have to understand we were conquered. If we don't get that understood and let that sink in, then we'll never get this thing right. We're going to continue doing the same thing. We're going to continue perpetuating the same thing, because what we're doing is we're glazing over all of that history that hasn't got dealt with. Psychologically, we have not dealt with ourselves. And so that's why we have colorism, because psychologically they tore us up and made us think differently about ourselves, the different hues of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, I remember hearing my grandmother say, you know, this is my great-great-grandmother, and I love my grandmother, but she was born in 1908, and she would say, that old black nigga, that old, you know, she would say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so she had the complex too. You know what I'm saying? We all got a complex. So until we deal with our psychological health about what happened to us a long time ago, we're just gonna keep doing the same things over and over.
Mr. Chris?
And why you put me on the spot like that, sis? Man, listen, Kinfolk Pharaoh, that's my dude right there. You know I love him, man. I still got to do some digging. I still think we some type of kinfolk, man. That's my because Jackson is my family name, bro. I think we're some type of kin. But everybody is hitting the nail on the head that, you know, it is a toxic legacy that has been passed down generation after generation after generation after generation. Take in these words that what Pharaoh and AJ, Brother Pryme, take these words in, like listen to what they're saying and how the division and the confusion, again, take this in, like really let that marinate, and how this is like really contaminating our community, our families, etc. Now, with the video, and man, I hate to play devil's advocate, but I just got to go there because I mean, and it could be the light that's shining right now, but I am of the lighter shade of things or whatever. The Bronze Brothers, I think one of you said that earlier. I'm one of the Bronze Brothers. My thing is that it was so much of an uproar when the darker shade of brothers and sisters was like, yo, why are y'all talking about us like this? And now, you know, listening to this video and, oh man, you're light skinned, so you're weak, or you're light skinned, you're a faggot, and all this other stuff like that. Where's the uproar at? You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, truthfully, I'm like, it is our darker shade brothers and sisters that are calling us weak and calling us faggots and calling us this and that. So I'm like, yo, when do we get to the point where we learn? I get that. Like, listen, man, this stuff, it definitely derived from slavery, like real talk. But I'm like, it's 2024. We got so much information. We got great platforms like this right here that push information that's saying like, listen, we are in error. When we gonna get this thing right? And and it could be the life coach in me speaking. I'm like, I'm always gonna look for solutions in every problem. I'm like, yo, when we gonna get this thing right? Because at one point I'm like, all right, we get it. You know, we discredited our darker shade brothers and sisters, but now, you know, fast forward to 2024, it's the light skinned version of us that are like reaping bad benefits, but behind this colorism. So like, yo, when do we learn? At the end of the day, man, because it's like it gets us nowhere. And again, this is social engineering. This is slavery mentality, and it's like, yo, I'm mind boggled because again, when it comes to our darker tone sisters and brothers, our light skinned brothers and sisters, I show everybody love because man, y'all all family. Pharaoh said it best. We all derive from the exact same person, the individual. I know that. That's real history right there. And like you said, Pharaoh, the white people, those that are intelligent, they know the real deal.
They know the real deal.
They know the real deal. But again, man, it mind boggles me because I'm like, yeah, where's the outcry? Because we're repeating the exact same cycle over and over and over again. Forget the Chris Brown thing. You know, they say like, yo, Chris Brown, he's a savage. Oh man, he acts like a dark-skinned brother. Whereas I'm like, come on, man, like, come on, are you serious? I mean, just say that, like, yo, let's just say this is a brother who is unhinged and he don't play no games. At the end of the day, this is a man who, like, yo, he don't play no games. That he stand on business at the end of the day, whether it's light skinned or dark skinned. Come on, man. But that's my piece. I'm like, I mean, maybe y'all can fill in somewhere. I'm like, where's the outcry at? Because now it seems like it's the light skinned brothers and sisters that's catching so much hell behind this colorism now.
Really?
Y'all remember? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just like, I didn't realize that light skinned men, women were catching hell, regarding colorism, because I see so many, even from a social media standpoint, when you look at basketball wives, when you look at video vixens, when you look at all the women that are in these videos and all these things that bottle girls and things like that, they are usually all lighter complected, right? And they are usually
they're being sexualized though. So you got to think about what is happening with that. They're being sexualized. So it's still a pimping. It's still
right. They're being sexualized, but they're still looked at as like the ideal standard of beauty
because they're exotic. Because they're exotic. And that's like it goes back to what
this is triggering me like a motherfucker.
Man, listen, I feel you. That's it.
AJ,
you listen to songs.
AJ, right?
Light skin, you never hear songs perpetuate. Oh, I want a brown skin, king, and I want a foreign exotic, light skin, yellow bone, red bone. So then you're like, okay, well, there's a lot of beautiful brown skinned women, that
there absolutely is. Here's my problem with that. And the only time I call myself biracial is when I have to prove that I'm like I have to say, okay, no, I'm not all the way black. But any other room, any other circle, I'm black. I'm a nigga. That's just what it is.
Well,
but
a nigga, hold on, Jay. A nigga and black person is two different individuals.
I understand what you're saying. I embrace the word nigga. I don't take it as a negative connotation. So let me start there. So I'm not saying it in any way like a negative connotation. But what I'm getting at is the fact that as a biracial parent, my children all look like me, but they're all hues of black, right? And I don't teach them that they need to get with a white woman or get with a light-skinned woman or whatever. They embrace all shades of black. So my teaching to my children is starting with my mindset, because if I had the mindset where I hated white people or I hated dark-skinned men or whatever the case may be, then that's what I'm pushing off to my children. But just like the guy Chris Little, he said, but when do we start to change our mindsets about it?
Acknowledge the root and have responsibility to renew our mindsets. Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, it absolutely is true. So I can't say that as a parent, I'm perpetuating that. I do know that parents do. I listen to them all the time, but I also think that me being a biracial, whatever you want to call it, mixed woman, I'm having to constantly defend myself. Like, no, I didn't say I was better than you. No, I didn't. I'm not saying because my hair is, naturally curly or my skin is this way that I said I'm better than you. I absolutely love the hell out of black people. I love brown people, period, all shades. But I'm constantly having to defend myself when I'm in rooms where black people are perpetuating the narrative that there is a colorism situation or a division with colorism. That's the only time when I'm having to justify that. And it's almost like I'm feeling like that white person who's saying, but I feel like I do. Because I'm in rooms where I have to justify.
People who need to go heal. If a person has an issue,
I understand. No,
that's the personal problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely, reality, I understand that, but there's still an obligation to not bitch up about it. Like, I can't just be like, oh, well, no, that's not. No, I have to still speak up and say, no, that's not the narrative. That's not what I do, even though that may be what other light-skinned women perpetuate, because they feel like a darker skinned man. I don't know a light-skinned woman that doesn't prefer a dark-skinned man. That's just me. But maybe I don't put myself around those kind of people who have that type of mindset. And I don't see that, but I do get that a lot on the flip of it. So
I just want to slide in real quick and see. And again, this is why I said we need a part 3, because this is where the segment gets heated and emotional, man. Listen, what light-skinned person wants to be viewed as sexual? You feel me? Like, real talk. Like, come on. What light-skinned person wants to be viewed as a sexual object? And then when we talk about light-skinned people, that's where they say, oh, you got the fine hair. Oh, you got the light skin. You got this. You got that. Who wants to be viewed as that?
I don't
Easier.
Think it's always sexual,
and no, it's not.
I think it's more of it's exotic and
that's what it is.
Well, no, I get that, but keep it real. It's the same thing. When you talk about exotic, come on, what we talk exotic is sexual. Like, keep it real. Like at the end of the day, like but now that's it. At the end of the day, man, like she's speaking real talk. Like, and this is why I say, yo, where's the outcry at when it comes to our light-skinned brothers and sisters, man? But go ahead and have at it, man. Y'all got it.
I think most of us, most of our community is not educated on what we're talking about as far as where the chocolate births all the different colors and stuff like that. And I know that to be true because, like I said, in my barbershop, I've been doing this for a long time. And since I came with the movement of Chocolate State of Mind, I like to throw stuff out to see how people think. And a lot of these young kids I asked one kid, I said, what's the original, white or black? And one of my kids said, not my kid, but one of the kids come to my shop, he said white. And I'm like, okay, you're not educated on this thing. And who's not educated is probably your parents. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these grown people are not educated. And that's one thing we got to really understand. Man, the education level on us is very low. It's very low. We're not taking control of our education system and teaching what we need to teach about ourselves. We're not doing that. So we're not up on what's going on with our colorism and all of this type of stuff. We think we living right, but we have to really take control of our situation. And it's going to be it got to be a mandate in our culture to teach about ourselves. If it's not a mandated situation, then it's going, like I said, it's going to keep doing the same thing over and over until we catch hold of it.
Well, Pryme, do you think teaching, our children and the generation to come about our history will change their preferences?
I think it will teach us how to be proud of our differences. It would make us proud. When I got educated, I'm a history major. When I got educated about my culture, and it made me stronger. It made me understand the different hues. It made me respect. It built the respect system inside of me, and now I teach my kids that. So yeah, I think us learning about it, absolutely. That's the only way to me. That's the only way to get to a new value system in our culture is education.
So,
I think it's putting it into practice too, but that's another topic.
No, absolutely.
But go ahead.
Let me bring something into perspective. Yeah, can y'all hear me? Okay. Let me bring something back into perspective of what I talked about at the very beginning. This is a global issue. So we also have to remember slavery was 246 years ago. We're not that far removed from not being considered anything at all. So what we're talking about and what we're trying to achieve in 246 years is not likely possible in this generation or the next generation. But what everybody's talking about now, it starts with the conditionalizing. You have to remember, like, our great-great-grandparents came out of that mindset. Even with working with clients and seeing clients in therapy, it takes generational work in order to process these things. So it's not just let's just talk about it and now all of a sudden we're fixed. This is a global issue across the board. Lighter complexions are always seen as higher in every culture, in every part of the world. So therefore, this fight to change it, we're not going to see it in our lifetime. But what we can do is our part, just like you all are saying, having those talks, having those conversations, educating our children about being proud of who we are, about we are the original beings, and having these different conversations about loving ourselves and don't erase slavery. Like, talk about it, internalize it, but be proud. It starts with those conversations and continuing to ensure that we don't let that go. And our hope is to, as we continue to pour and get therapy, get healing from these traumas, like continuing to do that and pour that into our children so they see the importance of it, so that they pour into their children. And that's how we get it out. It's almost like a color pool. If the pool is all blue, you got to pour a little bit of water in there and you got to keep flushing it out until it all goes out. And right now, this water is dirty. This water is dirty. The global water is dirty. It is pee, poop, all that stuff inside this pool. So we thinking that our tablet of 246 years is but a small cup to try to pour into the world to change the whole world so that we can get past this moment. That's not how it works. It's going to take time.
But
So what everybody's saying is true. What everybody's saying is absolutely true. And the more that we continue to have these conversations, the more that we pour into our children and into the future, the more over time these things will progress, because there's a generation that are not agreeing with the old standard ways of the culture. There is a wave of people who want to get into politics that want to change and get all these old people out of there. So it's coming. The wave is coming. It's just that we got to ride it out and continue to pour into them.
Well, one more thing.
Real quick.
With him.
Go ahead, Pryme.
I'm sorry, brother. But one more thing with him, I think with that, we have to get aggressively, aggressive with pushing this thing, though. Like she said, it's action that it's got to be taken. We can ride, or we can take charge. We can take the wheel. And we're not, and that's what we got to start getting the mindset of, like, we can make this thing start to change. We can turn this. And yeah, we might not see it in our lifetime, or we may start to see a change depending on the mindset. It's all about what we're going to put into it. Are we going to move aggressively, or are we going to just ride? And that's my thing. It's like it comes down to the will of the people. We can get aggressive on the movement of us telling about ourselves. We can definitely get aggressive on us combating colorism. Absolutely. Nobody can tell me any different.
I think it's a mindset. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
My bad, y'all. Yeah, real quick, yo. Go ahead. Yeah, my bad. Appreciate you, kinfolk. Man, listen, the money, where can we find you at again, brother? Because listen, I need some healing, and I'm pretty sure other people need some healing as well, brother. Where can we find you at, man? So listen, so we can book some therapy sessions, all of that good jazz, man.
www.mybigblacktherapist.com. There go my information right there, at my big black therapist on Instagram. Hit me up. Let's get this healing going.
That's a bit, man. Y'all heard that, man. Go ahead.
Real quick about Damani. If you didn't follow that, go to the Queens of Conversation website. His bio is there with his information in there. All the information for the QOC network is there. Marketing, if you want broadcasts, you want events, you want packages, you want flyers, you want one of the usually the ladies, we travel in packs when we do broadcasting. You want us to come to your events. All of that you can do on that website. Even if you want to donate to the QOC network, that is on there too. So all that information for everybody on here is on that website. So okay, and I'm through.
Okay, I just want to say something real quick. Man, I'm gonna be very transparent with you all right now. Very transparent, and I say this in love. I listen to everybody, and deep within my heart, I'm saying this is an exercise in futility. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be open and I'm gonna be transparent. This is an exercise in futility. And let me tell you why I say that. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, there's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. He said that a made-up mind is more powerful than an atomic bomb. He said if Black people really wanted to change their condition, and we really made our mind up instead of talking about it, but if we really wanted it, it'll change overnight. That's what he said.
Absolutely.
It would change overnight. So I say all this to say this. We want to change colorism in the Black community, but we can't even stop saying nigga. Something as simple as nigga. We can't even stop saying nigga. Now, earlier, we was talking about the perpetuation of these generational things that we're learning from generation to generation to generation to generation. Nigga is the epitome. Nigga is the epicenter of colorism and racism. Nigga was voted 10 years ago the worst word ever in human history. Go Google, go look it up. The most demeaning, the most negative connotative word in human history was won by the word nigger. And we want to stop colorism. And we want to stop racism. And we can't even stop nigger. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we as a people, we are offended by everything and ashamed of nothing. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. We are offended by everything but ashamed of nothing. So what does that mean? Everything offends us. Well, he said this about me. She said that about me. But we are ashamed of nothing. We have so little respect for ourselves. So where we would take a word that was created to defame us and make it our own. Sweetheart, you can't change the ingredients of cyanide. Cyanide is cyanide. You can add sugar to it and drink it, the result's gonna be the same. Your ass is dying. You cannot change the ingredients of sugar. You can add salt to it, but the result's gonna be the same. Your body is gonna metabolize that sugar that now has salt in it. It's gonna metabolize it as sugar. You cannot take nigger and make nigger mean anything but nigger. Nigger is the worst of colorism. Nigger is the worst of racism. So I say, until we're able to do away with the small things as a people, like nigger, this is an exercise in futility. And
I disagree, but I mean,
let's work on some things that we know we can have an impact on, and maybe then we can really fix some real shit in our community.
But see,
Man,
I
listen,
disagree
that's my
all the way
cousin
on
right
that
there,
one,
man.
but
That's my
okay.
fam right there. But that's real talk. No, I agree with that right there. Man, listen. No, it's the small wins that lead to the bigger wins. I hear what you're saying.
I understand
Kinfolk,
that.
I heard. No, cousin, I hear what you're saying. It is the small wins that lead to the bigger wins. We hear this all day long. And bro, listen, I made that transition too. I'm like, why am I calling my fellow man nigger instead of calling him king or brother? You see what I'm saying? And that right there makes the transition to something better. And we missed that point along the way, whether you light skin or dark skin, like real talk. And I don't want to hear nothing about like, oh, we transition this into something that's positive. No, fam. Call your brother, call your brother, or call him king or something positive that's uplifted. And I'm gonna leave it there because I know we gotta go soon.
We got
someone asked, do you feel the same way about identifying as black? None of us are truly black.
Are they speaking to me?
I mean, it's just a general question.
Okay, to answer that question, race was created. Race is a social construct, first of all. As a people, us as a people, everyone has identified us except ourselves. We are the only ones that haven't named or titled ourselves. First, we were African Americans, then Afro Americans, then Negro, then Black. Then colored. That's what I just said. Colored. That was our legal definition once upon a time in this nation. Afro-American, not African, Afro-American. That was our legal designation one time in America. African-American, that was our legal designation in America. Black, that was our legal designation in America. And we didn't create none of these. That was given to us. We are the only people in America that has been given an identification that they didn't give themselves.
In the world.
In the world. Everything that we identified as has been given to us. We haven't created none of it. And last but not least, nigga. And here we are, we accepting it and we embrace it. I accept my niggerism. No, I do not. If you call yourself a nigger, if you a nigger, you can't teach me nothing. In fact about it, if you a nigger, stay away from me, nigga. Because niggas can't give you nothing but one thing. Niggas gonna give you misery, loss, and self-doubt. Now, if you black, and you're a black man and you're a black woman, I welcome you with open arms and love into my bosom. But you niggas, stay away. Nigga die so black folks can take over. Die, nigga.
But see the black
yeah, we I ain't got no thing to say. Flag on play.
I'm just gonna say the black term actually is something that came from Blackamoors. It used to have, we've always considered ourselves black. It's always been considered that. You know what I'm saying? Until we let them create our pseudo races, then we took on their stuff. But it's always been black. We've always been black. Always. In history.
Okay, y'all. We are at an hour and 20 minutes. I do not want to push this no longer to an hour and 30. I was going to let everybody go around the room and say that, but I know if we do that, we're going to get stuck.
It's going to be a part 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a part 2. But this is what you want. You want where everybody's opinions are heard. You might not agree with everything that everybody say, but you take it in, you grasp it, you take the bits you can and the bits you can't, and you process them. I know J. Marie, I know this is kind of tough sitting in this spot, being the only biracial person and having to defend the white side of you and the black side of you. And to truth be told, we all mix with something. I already told you, I'm mixed with a whole bunch of stuff. I guess I'm what they call a mutt. I don't know what they call us. But anyway,
I'm biracial.
Yeah, we're heated. This is heated. So when it gets to this level, I like to just level it on off. Colorism at its finest. You have heard it from every host on the QOC network. You see the fire we bring. You see the knowledge we bring. You see the emotional intelligence we bring. We're not out here cussing each other out. We're not over here being rude, but we are having heated discussions and heated conversations. Yeah, I agree. No, I don't agree. Whatever. But it's been discussed and it's coming back with facts and stuff that you could go and research. That's what this platform is, y'all. So if you're looking for ratchet, I will say it again. You won't get it on this side. Unfortunately, not on the QOC platform, because everybody here, we're holding each other accountable and we're trying to push to the next level. And like Damani said, we may not see it in this generation, it might not be the next generation, but it's going to happen. Like Pharaoh said, if we make up our mind, we can make a choice tomorrow if that's what we decide to do. I know a lot of us are parents, and I pray my dark chocolate baby will see a change, because a fear as a mom is that my dark chocolate son is a target, and that's another conversation. It's so many ways we could take this colorism. We didn't even dig into. I had like 4 more videos, but okay. But we just want to thank you guys for taking the time out to stop down through here and listen to everybody. I am so proud of everyone here tonight. Just take that from Egypt. God divinely orchestrated this group. I still sit back sometime and look at all of y'all and I read y'all bios and I be like, wow. Never in a million years would I have run into my brothers and sisters that's sitting on this platform of all different hues and different background with the same vision, and that is to make a change. All of us want that. Without further ado, we have did our due diligence. The king and queen conversation, myself and Mr. Pharaoh. Y'all, I was gonna let Pharaoh close out, but I'm scared to even like
he got it heated.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we're gonna roll on out with our outro, but no, I can't do that because that's not order and that's not the way you do things. You always let the man of the house have the last word. To Mr. Pryme, you ain't never been a guest. You've been rocking with the queen since we first kicked off 3 years ago. Won't be your last time. Y'all, we got some changes coming, some good. We got to talk and have some meetings and stuff, but we got people reaching out to us wanting to get on our platform. So this is kind of like an umbrella that we are holding up. So we got to hold ourselves accountable to those that's coming up under us. So without further ado, I'm gonna let King Pharaoh say his last words, and then if y'all want to find Pryme Chocolate State of Mind on all social media platforms, but this won't be the last time you see Pryme. But yeah, that's on down the line. But we working some stuff out. And Damani, Okay, I saw his name pop up. I was like, what? I'm looking at him right here. But anyway, King Pharaoh.
Again, ladies. Okay.
Have you calmed down enough to end the
Oh no, that was my passionate character. I can cut and turn characters on and off like a light switch. But yeah.
We know. Very understandable, brother. Very understandable, man.
Yeah, very. You don't live in your emotions. Express your emotions.
There you go.
That's how you do it. Don't live in them. Once you express them, you can go back to business as usual. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Queen and King of Conversation once again. As I said earlier, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be right here with us, and we really do value your time. And we hope that you got entertainment, education, and entertainment at the same time. I'd like to thank Brother Coach Chris, AJ Monet, J. Marie, my big black therapist, the money, and I guess Prime of Chocolate State of Mind. Look him up. He's Googleable. and none other, none least, that girl, my beautiful co-host, Deja. Thank you again. And like I always say when we end the show, you were born looking like your mom and dad. You'll die looking like your decisions. We love you, fam. What?
Make you question all your verses. You stumbling through your performance. You ain't hot or the warmest. I'm stinging hot, call me a hornet. Price of fame, you can't afford it. You want it free, do nothing with it. F you, pay me, the mentality, you scared to risk it. It ain't no future, off in your frontin', wanna create you a miracle. All work, minimal. You all talk, criminal. I am not hearing you, and I'm not feeling you. Y'all so disrespectful, like I'm supposed to be burying you. Hip-hop renaissance. Remember when we went hard? I don't need an entourage. Why you need a bodyguard? Next level, same rules. You coming down, change moves. I don't gotta get in where I fit in. I've been here and been about my shoes. So don't be surprised at the kickback. It be the stuff you can't get back. My time is real, you don't get that. I'ma hit you with the real facts. I got that. You got that? I got that. You got that? No, you don't. Don't be surprised at the kickback. It be the stuff you can't get back. My time is real, you don't get that. I'ma hit you with the real facts. I got that.